Good evening, everybody. Monday Morning Quarterback, episode 50. Seems like we just started this the other day, and 50 episodes have flown by. Got a lot of cool things planned for you this year. We're not stopping here, and we're so thankful for everybody who has participated in the show. Without you guys, we wouldn't have continued to do it. I spend 2 to 3 hours every Monday kind of preparing for this, making sure that we bring you guys some good content, and we can't thank you guys enough for the support. Without you guys, it wouldn't be worth going through the effort we do. So thank you guys for tuning in. Feedback is always appreciated, and what you guys are wanting to see on upcoming episodes. So thank you all for sharing it and being a part of the show's first 50 episodes, and we hope to continue to grow our audience moving forward. So last week was a great week for Team CSI. There's not a lot of places racing in the country, but we swept the USAC races out at Las Vegas with Brody Roa winning the first night and Jake Swanson taking the second night. I think we swept the podium the first night and then had like 3 of the top 5 the second night. So good deal out there for us. I think we've won the last 4 USAC races at Vegas. And then Christopher Townsend won the restricted race at 105. And those are the only ones that I'm aware of. I'm sure there was others, but we are so busy here. Normally I devote about an hour right when I get here on Mondays, which is usually about 6:30 or so in the morning. I'll devote the first hour to kind of tracking down wins and seeing how everything's going, but didn't have a chance to do that this Monday. So if you ever win a race and want to be mentioned or used on our social media stuff throughout the week, just shoot me a message on Facebook or an email, and we'll be sure to include you. So this week we are headed to Du Quoin for the Shamrock Classic. Always a great race. About 60 midgets and 50 micros will be on hand there. Normally we just go and walk the event, being a single day event, but with that many cars, we're going to drag the factory support trailer over there, and we'll have some apparel on hand and product to fix some shocks. And if you need anything delivered, let us know. A couple weeks ago, we put out a poll on Twitter. What did you guys want to see on upcoming episodes? It was an overwhelming response that everybody wanted to learn more about their dyno sheets. We dove into that last week, and hopefully you got to catch that episode. If you didn't, I've updated almost every single Monday Morning Quarterback to our YouTube page, so that's a great place to binge watch Monday Morning Quarterback. There's 40 or so episodes up. I think the first 10 are the only ones I haven't, and I've made that a goal to get those updated this week. So you could catch that episode on our Facebook or on YouTube. But the second choice was you guys wanted to get a little behind the scenes at CSI, and so this morning we spent just a few minutes putting together a video showing you a couple different segments of what we do here and what our shop looks like. And so without further ado, we will go to that video, then come back, answer your tech questions, and draw for $500. Who's going to get 500 off a set of CSI shocks? I believe I put all the names together at about 8 o'clock tonight, and I think there was 66 shares at that point. So if you waited till after 8 o'clock, sorry you're not in the drawing. Shouldn't have waited till the last minute. But here's the video, and enjoy. Welcome to CSI. Today we're going to give you a behind-the-scenes tour of what we got going on here for episode 50 of our Monday Morning Quarterback segment. As you can tell, it's a winter wonderland here in Indiana today. The windows and doors are frozen. So this is our showroom. Got some samples of our products here, some pictures that customers have sent us over the years, which we certainly appreciate, and a bunch of trophies from races we've won. A lot of them our quarter midget program, and then some that customers have given us, like the Ultimate Challenge that John Stambro won in 13. So this is kind of just a little showroom, and then we'll head into one portion of our shop. That's my office, and then on this half of the building is basically where everything gets boxed and shipped, and then all the inventory that would go in a shock to complete an order, whether it's a torsion bar, spring, coil kit, apparel, all the totes that go on our factory support trailer are on this half of the shop. And so that's what happens over here. When the shocks are completed on the other side, which we'll show you next, all the dyno sheets get printed over here, and they get approved, get matched with the shock, and go out for shipping. Over here on this half of the shops where all the shocks are built, we have everything split up into bays, because typically one builder will take your order from start to completion. So anything in the black bins, our shocks are here for repair, and then we have our inventory split up into individual segments. So over here on the far right would be all the quarter midget inventory, then our modified inventory, and then the bays are broken up that way. So we have a portion of our dyno here. This first bay is our R&D bay, so if we're working on any prototyping or anything like that, it would happen over here. This bay, where my dad's working, is quarter midget bay. So all the quarter midget shocks are built here on our shiny new CTW dyno. As we move over to this side, in these totes are all the orders that are done, ready to be washed. Once they're washed, they'll head back over to the shipping area. And then over here we have our three main bays where all the new, we'll call them big car shocks are done. Micro sprints on up are built over here. We have three bays. Everything's saved to a remote hard drive and then backed up to the cloud, so we have a history of all your shocks at all times. And so we have three guys, three builders working over here. All our inventory to build that stuff's over here. There's our production board for what's going on each day here. As you can see, we're not a real high production environment. Each guy's working on an order or two a day just to make sure we aren't rushing anything. It's like the utmost quality. A typical builder will do like maybe 10 to 12 shocks in a day. This is our engineering department. This is Sam Johnson. Sam, tell everybody what you're working on today.
Right now we're working on the new JR4 shock for our quarter midget customers. And basically what we're doing, we just got these back off the track, doing some prototype work, seeing what we could do with them. We're making some slight little revisions, working with our vendors and machine shops to make sure we get the best product to you guys.
Cool. Tell us about some of the tools you use here in your department.
So the big tool that we rely on right now is our Ultimaker S5, which is a FDM 3D printer. So basically what we do is, for example, this new JR4 shock, we can take the exact model that we have and 3D print it to scale. So we have basically the new JR4 shock that we're able to mount up on the car, check clearances, make sure everything's working properly. We can print all the internals, anything that we need. We can do everything up to a complete shock and be able to check pretty much everything that we need to check before we can before we start doing functional prototypes as well as production style runs with our local vendors and machine shops.
Cool. Thanks for showing us around.
Thank you. Here we have our production manager, Jake Argo. Just tell us what you got going on today, Jake.
What's up, guys? So just right now I'm starting out in the morning doing a tuning guide for a new customer and kind of getting it's just a job that we did for them where we revalved some stuff and updated all the valving, so just kind of doing a new tuning guide for them and getting them all lined out.
Thanks, man.
All right. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. Someday when we have a little more time, we'll go into a little more depth of every department, but I thought that gave you a good little overview of what happens on a daily basis here at CSI and some of the guys we have. There's 7 of us that work here and full-time, so kind of a little bit about us. Anybody that's tuned in have questions based on things they've experienced this year, or as they're getting their race cars ready for the upcoming season, feel free to start firing away at those. And we'll be glad to answer any questions you have. The Factory Support Tour 2019 rolls on again this week at Des Moines for midgets and micros. Next week we're headed to Port City for practice night and 3 nights of micro racing over there. And then we're going from there to Austin for round 2 of the USAC National Tour. So hitting some big stops here to get the year kicked off. Then we have a USAC race at Lawrenceburg March 30th. Those are the ones that are jumping out to me. As April and May start approaching, I get busy doing the Indy 500 with Dreyer Reinbold Racing. So Trevor's going to do the national race at Charlotte, and then Jake will be doing some events with the trailer as well as I'm doing Indy, and then we got a baby coming in May, so I got a busy May ahead. So Dave, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. We sold a few headrests today, so Carl, glad you could tune in, and I hope you guys have a fantastic year with some of our quarter midget shocks on your cars out there. Jason, hello from Texas. We'll be headed your way here soon. And Mark, yep, we look forward to seeing you there at COTA as well. We had a national race at COTA, gosh, it's been maybe 4 or 5 years ago. I think that's when we were still going to regular tracks, and Austin decided to host their national race at COTA. And it was a great facility and a good track, and the surface was good, so hopefully that gets going. Preston, news on the iOS app, the $1 million question. I wish I had a direct to the point, the app is going to be ready on this day. Kevin worked like crazy hard to get it all done, beta tested. The app is done, and it was submitted to Apple, I don't know, maybe almost a month ago, and we've been back and forth on some revisions that they wanted to see in the app. We've done those things, and now we're kind of just in a holding pattern waiting for them to approve it. Much more difficult than dealing with Google. Kevin submitted it and it was approved, and we had an app like in the same week. So definitely testing our patience, because it is all done and we know a bunch of you are waiting for it, and the season's here. So as soon as we hear something, we'll let you know. It could be any day, it could be another week or two, but I don't imagine it's going to be too much longer. So Rick, you're going to roll out the blue bonnets for us. I'm not sure what the blue bonnets are, but it sounds like a good time. Karen, glad you could tune in. Sam got to make a nice cameo appearance. Normally he's the man behind the camera, so he was a little nervous to show his office off today. David, I'm not friends with Mother Nature. This has been one of the longer winters. I've lived in Indiana 15, 16 years now, and this has been a long one, man. Troy, with cold temps, start of the season, a need to change gas pressure versus summer temps. No, there's really not. You know, the shocks are going to be much less likely to have an issue with the temperature swing than your engine and stuff like that. So, you know, at the higher levels, Formula One and stuff, I know those guys, they'll put heating blankets on their shocks when they get to places that are really cold just to get the oil up to temp and everything. But their shocks don't move very far or very fast, same as an Indy car. By the time you're idling around getting heat in your engine, your shocks are up to temp for the most part. So nothing you really need to do there, Troy. You should be good to go, and hopefully warmer weather is approaching. Samson, it was 76 in Arizona today. Yep, I know you feel the pain, but come summertime when we're racing 5 nights a week, you're the one feeling the pain, buddy. Okay, a blue bonnet is a wildflower. So T-Bone, who works here and is making most of the quarter midget stops with me, he would have known what a blue bonnet was. So we're looking forward to Port City, one of our favorite micro tracks to go to, and then going to spend a day or so in Waco after that with our buddy John Randall as we're getting ready for COTA. So looking forward to that trip. Should be a good one. Anybody else tuned in have a question, and we'll get that answered, and then we'll do the drawing for the $500 off a set of shocks. 66 names is what I put into our little parts bin here. I think I cut it off at 8 o'clock, so if you shared it after 8, sorry you had all week. Yeah, I'm from California. I know what what's our state flower out there? A poppy, a California poppy, I think. And it's like illegal to cut them, if I remember right. And they're kind of a pretty orange. But I didn't know what a bluebonnet was. I know what Bluebell ice cream is. That's from Texas, isn't it? Kyle, did our shock builders learn everything at CSI, or did they work other places first? So I'm probably the only guy who started here with shock experience. Of course, I started the company, and so had to have a fair bit of knowledge before I started. But everybody who builds shocks here started kind of entry level in like assembly. So they would assemble different sub-assemblies of our shock. We would show them how to assemble certain pieces. Then they would graduate from that to kind of disassembly and cleaning of parts. And then the next step would be like a basic repair. That'd be like the first phase of being a shock tech after you went through the other stuff, is learn how to do some repairs. And then after you kind of get the repairs down, then we would graduate you into doing more sophisticated repairs and stuff like that. So yeah, pretty much everybody we get, we train them exactly how Jake or I would want it done. And it's worked out really well for us. We have some passionate young guys who work here who are racers, so they take great pride in what they do, and we bring them up to speed slow. We don't just fire them away at building shocks right when they get here. So, Steve, thanks for tuning in. Ed, we appreciate it. Hope you're recovering and feeling good. Samson, you weren't in the drawing because I don't think you shared it, but you know, if everybody had your kind of money, they wouldn't need $500 off a set. Aaron, reach out to me on that. We do sell shims. However, we don't really encourage it unless you're an experienced shock builder and you have a dyno and such, because it's not super easy. Randy, is gas pressure to keep the shock from cavitating? In a real generic answer, yes. Gas pressure is what keeps the shock from cavitating. So it does a couple things, but that's the main function, is to keep the proper pressure balance inside the shock. All right, I think everybody's ready for this drawing. So I got this parts bin here kind of full of names, and I will reach over and pull one name. And the name is Jeremy Ottinger. Jeremy Ottinger, local sprint car guy. $500 off a set of shocks. You guys race at Putnamville, so a set of shocks will be needed at some point throughout the season, as rough as that track can get, especially early in the year when it's hooked up and heavy. So Jeremy Ottinger, contact me, Facebook, email, phone call, and we'll get you dialed in for $500 off a new set of shocks. Troy, what does a bump rubber do? That's a really long question. I'll refer you back to previous episodes of Monday Morning Quarterback, where we did segments completely on bump rubbers, and you will learn everything you need to learn on bump rubbers. With that being said, I uploaded a ton of videos the last couple days to our YouTube channel, and so I think we have every Monday Morning Quarterback up there with the exception of the first 10. So the bump rubber ones are definitely up there. You can watch them on our Facebook, or it's a little better organized on our YouTube channel, and the bump rubber episodes will teach you a lot. So awesome. Well, we thank you guys for tuning in. We hope you all have a fantastic week, and if you're racing this weekend, good luck. Hope you win, and we hope to see some customers at DuQuoin and then next week at Port City. Take care, guys.